No, I was gonna let you both sit right there. There's a cheat sheet. Oh. To compensate for my fading memory. So just real quick, next month's meeting is just gonna be online. We've got, somebody who's gonna be speaking on APIs, building an API security program. But he's in Canada, so it'll just be online for that. And then we'll be back here in June. And, still TBD on who the presenter in June will be. But we'll have that. But so next month will just be online. Also, there is, I think it's May 15th, the quarterly San Diego cybersecurity social mixer. It's people, it basically individuals from every organization in San Diego are invited. So you'll see ISD Squared, Women in Cybersecurity, just whoever you can think of will be at that. And it's at the Alesmith Brewery. We do them once a quarter, so if you want to come out, they're a lot of fun. Other than that, we can go ahead and dive in unless anybody has any questions or anything. Kind of want to keep these informal. The real cool thing about this and why I was excited about having the opportunity to have this as a topic of a presentation as well. These two are kind of meeting you guys and everybody for the first time. The chapters had the opportunity to sponsor them for the last couple of years while they've been going to school, and school is just now wrapping up. We haven't done a formal mentorship, but I've become good friends with both of you, and I think the world of both of you. And and it's been really cool seeing how you both have grown, personally and professionally. And, this kind of takes us to that intersection in the road of what's next. So wanted to just kind of a coming of age sort of thing in that regard, which I was really kind of excited about. So just to kind of kick off, I wanted to let each of you make introductions. Camera's right there, the microphone is on the camera. But yeah, just kind of share who you are. And
I would like to thank you all for being here. I know it's been a couple weeks of rain. Now we've got some sun. It's been great. My name is Maya and Chaitanya. I am originally from Northern California. The Berkeley Hills is sort of my backyard. I'm in Phoenix, and now came to San Diego right before high school with my family. Middle child of two brothers. And, master's in cybersecurity engineering at USC. And I did my undergrad in Massachusetts, Smith College, about 2 hours inland from Boston, in environmental science and policy.
Perfect. Thanks for that. I'm Chaitanya Patel. I'm originally from India, but I was brought up in the Middle East. I moved to San Diego for my undergrad. I did my undergrad in computer engineering and decided to pursue my master's at San Diego State as well. Currently about to wrap up my master's as well as cybersecurity management. It has been a ride, but here we are, and just the last couple of steps left.
did you come here on your own or with
Yeah.
the family?
No, I came here on my own.
Okay.
There's a comment that says, a little bit hard to hear the speakers. So I'm wondering if you can adjust the microphone.
We can move it closer and we'll all just need to use it. Yeah, we can move closer and we can move the camera closer.
Perfect.
So was it the weather that made you pick San Diego?
Oh, that's a very good question. based off of the universities that I was selected as for an undergrad program, San Diego kind of seemed the best ideal place for me, including the weather. So I would say, yeah, San Diego it is.
Right on. Okay, yeah, and let us know if this sounds any better. Cool. Thanks, brother. What was your interest in cybersecurity?
So I first got into cybersecurity in high school. I was part of an ROTC group and the mentor coach, he had a team for cybersecurity, the computer competition. I had no knowledge about any of this. Just approached me, one of my friends, asked us, are you good at school? And we were like, sure. And he's like, all right, you're on the team. And I was like, okay, what team? And it was amazing. It was super fun. We had a blast. The team was about 5 to 8 people, depending on the year. We went to national finals 2 years in a row, and nationals was in Baltimore. I'd never been to the East Coast. It's very cold for anyone who doesn't know.
What time of year were
It
you?
was about this time, April,
Okay,
so a lot colder than San Diego.
yes.
And so I'm from California and hadn't really traveled much in high school. And so this was sort of the first big trip for me. And it was awesome. It was super fun. There was a lot of other teams. It was nationwide. There was actually some teams from Canada competing. And it was a lot of fun, a lot of stress. And in the end, we just got closer. And then I thought maybe it's not just a hobby. Maybe I could do something with it. And so that sort of got me thinking. And then I was looking at schools and programs. And yes, we actually didn't have an undergrad cybersecurity program when I was looking for programs, which is why let me explore other options and then come back. And then I came back. And then try that.
Awesome.
For me, I always had a passion for computers. I didn't know what direction I wanted to go to. That's why I pursued computer engineering. Halfway through computer engineering, there was a course at San Diego State that kind of introduced me to physical security, with respect to safeguarding certain rooms. And they had a project to create an automated lock that kind of implements physical security with respect to containing the data centers that were in there. It was a small competition that SDSU had with, just to encourage students to pursue cybersecurity. That kind of caught my eye. With that, I pursued all my electives with respect to cybersecurity, and then I thought, okay, why not just specify or be specific with my master's program, and here we are, cybersecurity management.
And if it weren't to have been cybersecurity, what do you think about it?
So it's an interesting question. So my bachelor's was in environmental science and policy. As soon as I finished, I applied and was accepted into the Peace Corps. And so the different sections of Peace Corps, the one I applied for was the environmental sector. So I was admitted and could go to Paraguay for 2 years and be an environmental promoter, or I could go to grad school. And so I was just torn. And so I was thinking about it and I decided to go to grad school. I was in student mode. I didn't want to break that. I really didn't want to get a master's. Sort of really, that was in my head, that was my plan. And I went forward with it. I'm really glad I did. Pandemic was sort of winding down and it wasn't entirely sure I wanted to be sort of in a remote area. I really wanted to be around people. I specifically picked the in-person program at USC to be in-person learning.
Okay.
That's how I thrive that. And so, yeah, that's my decision. I'm glad
Yeah, that would have been a unique left turn. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
For me, it was computer engineering from the start. If I didn't pursue cybersecurity, it would have been something with respect to hardware design, kind of designing electronics was something that I was fascinated by back in high school. So yeah, not as exciting as what we had, but computer engineering was my background.
Awesome, awesome. So it was always technology.
Correct. I was very fascinated by technology.
Right on, right on. Yeah, and like I said, we've had the opportunity to get to know each other for a couple of years, so I've always heard that passion in your voice on stuff that we would have the opportunity to collaborate on. So cool. What is one thing about you that nobody knows? What's that? Yeah,
It gives me time to prepare.
yeah. And we're all in a safe space. It's just Zoom, people online. Yeah. So we're, yeah. And we're recording.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think I just told you this right before the meeting.
That would be an excellent one.
I,
Yeah.
I love being active. I love being outside. I think it's coupled with my passion for the environment. But recently, last weekend actually, I did the Spartan race. I'm not sure if you're familiar with it. It's different levels. I did the 5K, and there's about 20 different obstacles, climbing over things, jumping into mud pits, crawling through things. It's a lot. And I've been wanting to do this for a while, probably since high school. I love running on the beach in my free time, so that was definitely sort of check off of a bucket list item for me. And now I'm looking for bigger, and I'm looking at the PCT for the next challenge. But I love being outdoors, and I love challenges.
What is the PCT?
So Pacific Crest Trail going from Mexico all the way up to Canada. So to do a part of it or the whole thing usually takes months. But at some point, I do want to. Oh yeah. So yeah. There's a story about that one.
Very inspirational.
Yeah, well, she was sharing a picture with me earlier, and it's her hanging down in the mud, crawling under barbed wire. So yes, kind of, yeah. If you only saw that picture, yeah, yeah,
That is amazing.
yeah.
Right.
Hey, Dave. Good. Then grab a seat, make yourself home. Lunch is in the back for we like.
Perfect. For me, it's photography. I also love being outdoors. But it's not the common stereotype of photography. I like to observe minute things that people tend to miss, and I'd like to capture those. For example, it would be just the sunset rays hitting a tree during golden hour. That's something that people do watch, but they don't appreciate how rare that could be.
Yeah, where to capture that.
Yeah, so I love capturing those small moments, and indirectly, I believe that kind of helps me with my career in cybersecurity to observe small things that could go wrong or small issues that might be skipped on that could lead to a total disaster.
Yeah.
So I feel like that kind of blends in indirectly again. But yeah, not many people know I love taking photographs.
No, thank you both for stepping up and answering that one. Yeah. So if you can share, which school you attended and if you did all of your study there or if there was more than one institution.
So I'm graduating from the University of San Diego in cybersecurity engineering, and I started there about 2 years ago, so completing that.
So, as said before, I came to San Diego for my bachelor's, San Diego State. Currently in San Diego State pursuing my master's as well. So I've been here for the past, I would say 5-6 years now.
Gotcha. Cool. And in addition to school, and the academia stuff, do you have any certification in the industry that you pursued?
Currently have a security plus with CompTIA.
For me as well, Security Plus. But I've also done a little bit of AWS Academy. cloud foundation, security foundation, cloud architecture is something that I also obtain.
Are there any others that you're thinking about going after or?
Yeah, right now I'm sort of focused on renewing Security Plus. So
Yeah,
going through
we've
some
talked
courses.
about that, yeah.
Attending as many events, but yeah, it's something in the future I want to.
Sure, yeah. No, and I know I asked the question, still at the same time understanding you're just wrapping up. You know, a pretty heavy lift there, so.
For me, I do have short-term goals, long-term goals with respect to cybersecurity certification. My short-term goals, I'm still undecisive on whether I should be pursuing ethical hacking, CES, or information security manager, CISM.
Okay,
So that's the short-term goals, and then again, CISSP would be something down the line, once I have enough experience.
yeah. And actually that leads to a question I'd like to ask that, didn't make it on here, but not to try and put you on the spot. But when we talk about cybersecurity, that's kind of a wide net that we can cast. Have you identified within that net and within cybersecurity what you think would be most interesting or what you most enjoy?
So I like the people aspect of cybersecurity. So I'm thinking about consulting, cybersecurity consulting. I'm not sort of limiting myself to that. I do want to explore other fields within cybersecurity. That would be sort of something that I like to do myself.
Okay,
When I joined the master's program, my intentions were to pursue pen testing. But as I went through the master's program, I realized GRC is something where I can thrive in. So right now, I do have the technical knowledge of being a pen tester, just by academics, not by practice. But GRC is something that I lean towards.
okay. Anything in particular about that you find more interesting?
My main goal, as I said, I love observing.
Sure.
I feel like GRC is something where I get to have a rough idea of what's going on with respect to an organization. I kind of see how information flows from one place to another, whether that's secure or not. And I feel like that is something that I can help manage. And I feel like I'm not yet decided on what specificity with respect to GRC that I want to pursue, but that is the direction I'm moving.
Okay, no, interesting. And one thing I'll compliment you both on that you're both really good at, and that can potentially be a unique differentiator for both of you, is your soft skills. You both have always been really good at communication, asking questions, answering questions, and the industry needs a lot of that. And if, you know, like you're describing with consulting, that's the heart of it, is being able to establish that relationship and the trust and everything. So, no, I appreciate you sharing that. Outside of school and the certifications over the past few years, and we'll go with you first this time, so Maya can have a moment to see if there's a word on the answer. But with that,
I think we have to spot it.
absolutely, absolutely, yeah. I perhaps I forgot to warn you about that. Yeah. Everybody here knows me, so it stuff like that always kind of, yeah, it just comes from being me. But for the years that you've done school and you did the certifications, is there anything outside of those that you've had the opportunity to do in the community or online?
I have not yet physically attended an ISACA event in person, but I've attended multiple of those online. This being the first one, yeah.
Yeah,
So I feel like that would be one section
Sure.
for the question that you asked. The second one is I have part of my internship was to back in summer was to involve myself with Know Before organization. It's an organization that spreads cybersecurity awareness as well as it provides a service of phishing attempts for companies,
Yeah.
simulated phishing attempts. I did involve myself in organizing those events as well as conducting them with respect to the internship that I had. So that is, it was only 2 events during the 3 month time period that I had. But I did learn a lot from them. On campus, there is an SDSU Cyber Defense Club that we have, which is not run by the university. It's just that 5 to 6 students come together and kind of form that organization. It's not official, but we kind of meet either weekly, bi-weekly, depending on how the semester is going. And we usually run simulations for capture the flag scenarios, as well
Okay.
as it's just like a session like this. We just come together, we talk about cybersecurity, we understand what are the new trending news with respect to cybersecurity, we discuss it together. That is something that I want to as part of the whole growth.
yeah, and how helpful has that been for
It
you?
has been very helpful. It has helped me decide to pursue GRC and indirectly or directly, you can say. But understanding different people's perspective on the same problem kind of gives you a good idea of what exactly the problem is. One-sided stories don't always work out. You need to have different perspectives, and I feel like going through all these events kind of gives you that.
Yeah.
And gives you a holistic approach. So I try for holistic approach.
No, that's awesome. And you're right, the diversity of perspectives and being able to get those from people looking at stuff differently, different experience, maybe they're more technical
Exactly.
and stuff, but yeah, the industry really needs that stuff. Right on, right on. Yeah,
So, yeah, I have tried to attend every cybersecurity conference that comes through San Diego. Besides this most recent, there's every topic.
did you go to the one that was like on the 30th or something, from that was good state? Yeah. Yeah.
I was there, yeah, but I didn't stay there. I had it.
Gotcha.
So besides the SDSU, really, really fun event. I love that a lot. Met a lot of great people there. Cyber Summit, I volunteered with ISACA Cyber Summit downtown. Stayed with there.
Yeah,
Great.
yeah,
Always
that was a fantastic time.
always meet an amazing group of people. I also did that one last year too, so I've done that one
Mhm.
years in a row. Trying to attend as many ISACA events as possible. I've done the Women in Cybersecurity Career Day. We've had a couple of those events. And have also been really amazing.
Were you able to attend the one that was like a month ago or 2 months ago?
No, there's a one before.
Okay, right on.
So, and it's great because I'll sometimes meet students from my school that we haven't connected with yet. And I'm like, oh, we're in the same program. It's sort of
Right,
been
right.
great to sort of meet different students from the same program, to hear their perspectives and pathways, and then also other professionals.
Yeah, and the one that Maya's talking about was March 7th, the 4th annual San Diego Cybersecurity Summit. It was down at the Marriott behind the Convention Center. Is that where we met? Yeah, yeah. And that event has been a fantastic supporter of the local chapter. They gave us the opportunity to have the table there and stuff like that. And yeah, Maya soldiered through the whole day with us. It was a big help. How can you go wrong by adding that smile to the mix, you know? Yeah. So, and it's not on here, but, and yeah, we're ISACA, but at the same time, like we were talking about that event that's coming up in May. There's, I don't know, probably over like 12 organizations in San Diego, you know, for, and each group is fantastic in their own right, and they bring something different, unique, to the table. Some of them, you know, ISACA, we tend to look at things from an auditing perspective, and like you're describing, almost more from a GRC type perspective versus, you know, how OAuth is going to be way more technical and stuff. So just want to ask if either of you have had the opportunity to participate with other or members of any of the other organizations.
With respect to participation for events like this, no, but I've got a chance to connect with people who are part of those organizations, and I've had a good amount of conversation with them, and they have been supportive.
Yeah, no, they're all good people. We're all kind of trying to do the same thing, you know, just play it forward. You know, the biggest things for the chapter here, Rocco and I would talk about it, is fundamentally we want to add value to the members and value to the community at large. So.
Yeah, I've done some of the OAuth meetings. Nico was one of my professors at USC, so he mentioned the meetings there. And he also sort of takes care of the title.
That's the 100% his baby. Yeah.
So I'm gonna head up there and then, you know, if everyone up there. But yeah, they've had some really amazing topics. What was the last one? They had one on the Flipper Zero and then quantum computing.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah. And for those that don't know, Nico Behar, he's an adjunct professor that teaches at National University, SDSU, and USD. He's also serves as president of the OAuth San Diego chapter. And for those cyber social mixers, that was his idea. We've always kind of, there's so many good organizations, but when you have us running around every month saying, hey, here's the meeting, all of this, we're trying to build ours up. ISSA, each organization's kind of doing the same thing. And one of the unfortunate things that inevitably comes out of it is the chapters can kind of silo themselves off. So the social mixers and stuff are really designed to help break down those walls and get people from the different ones to know each other and stuff like that. And we'll talk about it in a little bit here going into the workforce and stuff. But I always tell people that when you're looking for a gig, it seems like it's 95% who you know. There's just no way around it. And whether it's right or wrong, in Rome, those are the rules. And places like that is a great opportunity to meet new people and you know, build new friendships, and whether they can help directly on something like that. Like when I used to do a lot more networking, it was, can I help the person directly, or who do I know that may be able to help that person? And if you can kind of have those sorts of perspective going in, you can walk away with some things that you never realized that they were always there. It just took those particular kind of questions or mindset to help it come together. Are there any questions or anything online? Okay. And if you're online, if you got any questions, just, yeah, post them in the chat. And so you shared the Know Before internship.
That was not the internship, but I was part of Link. Link is a manufacturing industry that creates circuits for electric vehicles, satellites, up in San Francisco Bay Area. They had an event where they hired Know Before to kind of do a phishing simulation for their employees, which we were part of because I was part of the InfoSec department. So I had to interact directly with them before they pushed the simulation.
Okay, so it was an internal
Correct,
simulation.
correct.
Okay, gotcha.
That's how I got to know about Know Before, and then I started looking them up, and then they have these security awareness programs for organizations
Yeah,
as well as for educational purposes, depending on what.
okay, so you did the internship with that company. Yeah. Got it. Okay, have you done any other internships?
No, with respect to cybersecurity, Sterling was the only one as of now. That was last summer. But I do have something lined up hopefully after I graduate.
Okay, right on. We'll chat on it. Well, I don't want to curse anything, but we'll let you share what you're comfortable with, and that way we can all properly give you best wishes.
Yeah.
On it. Yeah. How about yourself?
So last summer, I also had an internship with, Cohesity. They're based in San Jose, so it was a remote internship there. I was a information security intern, and sort of helped with creating Splunk dashboards,
Okay,
and sort of created research material for the stakeholder conversation meetings and senior staff there. And I tried to sort of kind of dip my toes into the different sections, the auditing team, pen testing team, just to see sort of what each specialized in, what was it about, real world versus classroom setting.
sure.
And that was awesome. I love the team there. Everyone was super hopeful, knowledgeable, great company, honestly. Other than that, I did work with a company based in San Diego, Caledonian, and they sort of teach adults who aren't familiar with computers how to be safe online, best practices, how to not scam, and sort of that sort of practices. And so I was using that teaching adults one-on-one.
How'd that go?
It was actually really fun. I enjoyed it. I love talking to people.
Yeah.
So, it was great. So, because it's totally different perspective, they know nothing.
Right,
Um,
right.
And I actually recently had an interview with KCBS, small section on the radio, and we talked about basically scamming, how common it is, how easy it is for older folks to just trusting anyone who calls them. It's like, oh, it's Facebook calling you.
Run, it's Microsoft.
Everything.
Yeah.
Like, or yeah, Windows is calling you. And so it's such an interesting perspective because like we're in it all the time.
Right.
It's common knowledge to us. We grew up in it, but for older folks, it's not common at all. And they're learning it like now. Like
Yeah.
they're 70, now they're learning everything.
Were a lot of them seniors or older?
Yeah. And there was a range, so there was some in their 40s.
Did it catch you by surprise?
A little bit. I mean, I get some of it from my parents, and like, what does this mean? I'm like,
Yeah.
don't click on it.
Should I click on this one? Yeah,
And
it's free.
and I've looked at my grandma's computer and it's filled with stuff, and I've helped her clean up her Facebook, and she's got hacked several times. And I'll get the message, and I'm like, okay, let me help you out. And so it's interesting because there's so many ways that they can get you. There's clever, the emails are getting better, and And it's so easy. I mean, USC does these fun email tests every month where they'll send you something and you click on it and they're like, we got you. And you're, in the middle of something and it's like, oh, someone just changed your password. And you're like, wait, what? And then they're like, oh, we got you. And you're like, "Oh." So like, even as a student, it's so easy to get caught.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, they prove it to us every month. We got everyone in your department.
Yeah, there was, I don't know if you all remember, but it was during the pandemic, because you can do that social engineering stuff and you're trying to be empowering, and emphasize the positive sort of stuff. But it will lead to that gotcha moment. And it was during the pandemic, GoDaddy sent, if you guys remember, GoDaddy sent an email out to everybody in the staff that said, hey, we know times are tough, all of this, what we want to do, because we love you, is there's an additional bonus of $600. Yeah, you just click here, and then it was, oh, you just signed up for additional awareness training. And yeah, it was just like, whoever, whenever this happens, someone comes up with the idea and says, hey, here's my thought, but it always takes that next person to go, I like it, roll with it, and that's when it picks up some momentum. And then you end up with something like that, which was just horrible. Hey man, lunch is right behind you. If you want to grab anything, please feel free. On the internships, what were your thoughts on what you had the opportunity to do, just from an experience perspective?
The internship was highly valuable to me, and I'll just give you the reasons why. My first role in that internship was to review the NIST 853.5 document and then apply security measures to the organization as a whole.
The whole document?
Well, a couple of sections at a time.
Yeah, okay.
But I was given a section, I was asked to read through it.
That would suck.
That is not a.
Yeah.
But I did review those documents that were given and give different recommendations which are currently implemented in the organization. Following that, I was also asked to automate certain systems. As in the manufacturing industry, we were required to collect data from the tools that create products and then kind of use that in order to figure out a way to automate the tools as a whole. That was something that we started on, but I couldn't finish before my time was up. But another automation project that was given to me was the visitor management. So they didn't have a proper visitor management system in place. I had to use Microsoft Power Tools to kind of create that an environment. We had a couple of tablets out, and that is also again implemented here in their organization. I was also introduced to Microsoft Sentinel. I think if that's the right.
Yeah.
I was introduced to that. It was human technology. I was not familiar with that technology before joining the internship, but it kind of showed me how systems are monitored, what are some incident response defenses in places that Microsoft already has. So overall, that internship was very, very educational to me, and I did learn a lot with respect to how to secure an organization as a whole, just by being.
Yeah, and if I'm hearing you correctly, part of it was security.
Correct.
But part of it was, just automation and analytics and and ultimately trying to optimize processes.
Yeah. Just to add on to the educational aspect, I'm currently a TA for an MIS course at San Diego State.
Okay.
It's an introduction to cybersecurity course for graduate students. It's an elective for undergrad, but it's a required course for people who are trying to pursue the master's in cybersecurity management at SDSU. So we kind of also made those emails as a TA. I made those emails and I sent it out to the kids. And whoever didn't click on it got 5 extra points, and whoever did click on it had an extra time. I did not use that there as well.
Did they know you were,
Well, after the deed was done, they didn't know that.
the deed was done?
And the majority of the students.
What's that?
Like 2 free credits.
Right.
Majority of the students know, including the grad students.
Oh, that's beautiful. No, thank you for sharing, because, it's, I'm older-ish, so I'm more, so it's just really cool to hear where you're at, you know, and those experiences that you got. So even like with the theme, with the technology at large new to you, or the Sentinel specifically?
Sentinel specific, because I didn't know what theme was. I didn't have an interaction with any tools that kind of integrate that into an organization. So Sentinel was the first tool that kind of helped me understand it practically rather than.
Yeah, kind of connect the dots there. Did you get a chance to do much of that when you were working on the song stuff?
The song was completely new to me when I got there, and so part of it was just trying to learn Splunk and the language to create dashboards and to search the different databases. And so that was a big part of my internship, figure out how to learn Splunk, and then they had several other programs listed on looking through and trying to learn. So a lot of it was trying to understand and learn these programs that I wasn't or
And overall, what was your kind of takeaway perspective from the experience?
it felt so short. Like once I got it, then it was over.
Oh,
I was like, I know how to do this now. It was like, okay, thank you. And so I wish it was longer. I feel like 3 months for an internship, it's so short. Really.
yeah, it can really fly by. Yeah. As an intern, were you part of a group of other interns working together?
It was me and another intern from first team. And then the company had other interns in different departments.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, it was a small.
Okay.
For me, I was the only intern in the InfoSec/IT department.
Okay.
But they did have 7 to 8 more in other departments, mainly focused on manufacturing.
Gotcha. Yeah, just outside, different purview, but right on. So now that we are wrapping up school, what are your plans? And if you want to punt it over, you get one lifeline,
Okay.
and then you get one too. So you can kind of do a reverse no card if she puts it your way.
So so I'm actually looking for a job right now. I love a full-time position. I finished in May, so graduate next month, and I'm really excited for what's next. I'm open to staying in San Diego. I'm open to leaving as well. I'd love to explore another city. I realized that I love to be in person or hybrid, but remote is a little difficult, especially if I'm new to the field, new to the company. I would love to be in person or hybrid as well.
Just be able
Thanks.
to immerse more. You know?
I'm not trying to copy, but that's exactly my pursuit as well. I'm still looking for a position. I would also prefer to be in person, as you said. The interactions that value more than actually getting the job done, in my opinion. Having that connection, building yourself, growing yourself in person is what I would prefer as well. as compared to that of remote. I do love the idea of being remote, so you can go anywhere wherever you want, but at this stage, as a graduate, as you mentioned as well, I would rather pursue in person for the first couple, maybe 5 to 7 years, and then think about it. Completely agree with you.
What are your thoughts about potentially relocating?
I'm open to relocating. I've been relocated to another country for my education.
Yes, you have. Yeah, you took a look.
Relocation is not an issue for me.
Okay, no, good for you. That was not a leap I took. Yeah, no, seriously, for those that don't know, my parents came out from New Jersey before I was born. So I just am grateful for that every day. That I keep telling them thank you, Dad was specifically from Newark. Yeah. There's a whole other story. I won't put it on the camera, but, well, I'll put it on the camera. He, it took till I was like in my 40s and a couple of bottles of wine for my dad to finally share the story. But what he did was he would be watching, it's the Rose Bowl story, where he's sitting there watching on the black and white TV, watching the Rose Bowl, and the snow outside's north of the doorknob. And he sees everybody at the Rose Bowl wearing shorts. And so what do they know that I don't? So as he went through school, everywhere he applied was out here. Never told my mom. So as school was wrapping up, and he was an engineer, and evolved to, actually he ended up retiring as the chief scientist at Cuban. But he never told her. So as school was wrapping up, he explained to her, the only opportunities that are out there are on the West Coast. And Mom was kind of like, well, our parents are here, our whole family and our legacy. So he ended up doing all right, let's do it for 2 years. And kind of like you said, 5 he negotiated 2 years and said, let's try it, see what happens. And he did it with zero intent of going back. It gave him 24 months to overcome every objection that my mom could possibly come up with. And so if you fast forward those 2 years, now you've got both sets of my grandparents relocated out here. Yeah, just you miss your folks, we can fix that. We're not going back. But the part it took till I was at that age was the transparency that there was no plan B. It was, we'll be out here, we will figure it out. And yeah, and just like, God bless him. Just handled it like an engineer. What is the issue? Let's break it down to a small manageable process, figure out that we just, complex problems are made of simpler problems. Let's look at the simpler ones and navigate through. So anyway, we're recording. And I digress. So with school, what are you most excited about?
Not taking exams anymore.
Oh my God.
Okay.
To be honest, I'm honest.
Oh, that's very honest. Yeah.
But 6 years, that's so far, so yeah. But honestly speaking, it would be the opportunity to explore. The opportunity to explore the industry, the opportunity to identify what my true passion is with respect to the industry. That is something that I'm more excited about. Interacting with new people as we are here today. That is also something that I'm most excited about. I feel like last 1.5 years, I have been only focusing on studies, and I wouldn't say no networking. I would say a fair bit of networking, but I'm not giving my best to that. I feel like that is something that I would now focus more on as well. And, yeah, just to see greater good. Let's hope.
How about yourself?
Sort of in the same boat. I've been a student all my life. And I love to, I'm excited to transition to sort of just move into different phase. I'm here, my parents are in Northern California, so I'm already kind of like on my own.
Oh, okay.
So,
Are your brothers up then?
one is in Germany and one is about to be in Alaska.
Oh, okay, okay,
So we're kind of scattered.
gotcha.
But yeah, so I already feel like I'm on my own, sort of doing half, but I'm excited to transition, meet people, interact with people in the field, and sort of see what the opportunities are, maybe find cities, just sort of keep my options open. So I'm excited for this transition.
Yeah.
It's gonna be different.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's kind of the end of that era, you know. So did your parents come down here, like the whole family, and then they went back?
Yeah. So they've been back for like 3 years.
Okay,
We came here and split. I went to Massachusetts and then back up, and then I came back
oh, okay. Maureen, Massachusetts.
for my,
Oh, okay. Was that before we met?
so, I did 4 years in Massachusetts for my undergrad. And then I came back to San Diego for my,
Gotcha, okay. Yeah, and then that's when we had the opportunity. to
yeah,
do-
first year.
Yeah, yeah, through Lent, yeah.
Super.
Yeah. So what has you the most concerned?
That's a good question. The unknown, I would say. I don't know what to expect. I know the direction I'm going into, but I don't know what to expect. So, the challenges that might come would be something concerning, but it's not hard to be. It's just that stage before you jump into the pool gets you nervous, concerning. That's what I'm going through right now.
Are you the type that would want to know the water temperature first?
Mm, right now, no. I would rather jump in. But if you had asked me the same question 2 years ago when I graduated with my bachelor's,
Okay, yeah.
that would be good.
Yeah. I think I'm in the same boat. I'm really excited. I'm really sort of pumped and I guess, and I'm like, is it gonna work? All of the school, it's gonna pay off. And so I think I really just wanted, if I can stop wondering, sort of the speed in my head, the if, but I,
It's like supervised learning and
Sure, sure. Well, and when it's stuff like that, even if you have a plan, it never goes totally to the plan. Yeah, and I don't mean it in a negative way. I was talking to somebody at work, and they were talking about unintended consequences. And it's like, yeah, sure, but at the same time, you're gonna run into unintended benefits, where something is just working out better. Same thing. I had no idea for us to do this as a platform for a presentation. I think until you and I were just chatting one night about something and kind of, yeah, and it just kind of came and as you and I were chatting, that's when I immediately thought of you. And that's when the whole idea kind of came together, but it wasn't scripted, So, I just kind of want to run down and ask everybody, if you can give one piece of advice to each of them. Please.
I want to both of you. When you go in networking, two things. One,
Be clear about what you're looking for. So make it easy for people to help. Big, and two, have some criteria for how you're gonna evaluate. Good, that's solid, thank you.
You put
Yeah.
that in good words.
Yeah.
I remember when I graduated, the told never to the end of your formal schooling, but you never stop learning. And that's one of the things that I liked about this career within IT and cybersecurity. You're always trying to learn more, to advance your skills, and technology will so quickly that you gotta keep up. And so lifelong learning, it's super sure to have.
Yeah.
Be prepared to get with it. Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
What was that?
More examples.
A different type of exam. Yeah. Rucka.
From what I heard, when you guys were describing what you want to do, really consider Big Four consulting and, sales engineering. Another big field that people often overlook.
Yeah, yeah, and that kind of touches on that there are so many options with just that wide cast net, you know, and you'll learn what because I can share with you that there's certain things within, I've had more technical roles, I do mostly consulting now, but in doing those things, I found what I enjoy doing more and which things maybe honestly gave me more anxiety, you know, and I've been fortunate to identify the things that I might was most aligned with and be able to, it wasn't a straight line, but it was a path. And to Scott's point, as you continue learning, you're learning more within that path. The team.
I'm not very experienced in this stuff, but as a person who just like 1 year ahead of you, I would say the exam is never done. And the real world experience is so different than school. I graduated from the same school, USC. So, the real world is full of different kind of exams and different challenges of course. And yeah, that's it. And I would focus more the new tools that are being used right now by the than just like focusing on the books or like right now I'm taking like the classes that is all about the CM tools and security tools. And the Cisco Meraki is like the best. So just go and learn this stuff. Yeah, that's all.
Gives you a whole perspective of all your network infrastructure. I've worked with
Yeah.
Meraki before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have full control. It looks like
Yeah.
you have full control.
Sending those phishing emails, full control. You have all on your hand.
Oh, right on, thank you, yeah. Mark?
Wasn't ready for that.
Oh, and that's exactly why I went
Oh,
there.
yeah. Yeah, well, I'm a graduate in computer science in undergraduate and also master's degree cybersecurity at Tuckman from National University. And it's been over a year since I graduated. So I have been doing also like, the same continuing education, attending ISACA, attending a lot. I think I've seen before. Yeah. Yeah, WASP and IT software also monthly and Mixer. So I think you guys doing a great job, like by continuing learning. And also I can tell that you guys are very passionate about like what you're doing and explore. This is number one cybersecurity from my perspective. Is like the passion of exploring and non-stop and not limiting yourself. I think this is what makes you further than limited too much because that's what cybersecurity from my perspective. So I think you guys are doing a great job and I wish you a good luck for the next phase.
Yeah.
And we have a comment too.
Yeah.
So the comment is, awesome discussion. Good luck to both of you. I wish you the best in your career. I think that you'll both be awesome in your next role.
Ah, very nice.
So Jim,
McKinnon?
mechanic.
Yeah, no, right on. Yeah, one piece of advice I would share with both of you, and actually I learned it from Matt Stamper, to give full credit where credit's due. And for anybody that's not familiar, sir, I do not know your name.
So I came to, I listened to them from, so I find out from them, from there. Which then,
Always. Yeah. Yeah, it's very bi-directional, isn't it? Do you have one piece of advice for them? Yeah, no one's getting out of here. On it.
I feel like it's important to find it. I'm sure you look for what you want, so what, but that's what I'm doing. So, I'll use my head.
No, that's perfect. And it's actually similar to what Matt taught me. And for those of you that don't know, Matt was the president of the chapter, before I had the opportunity. And when we were talking about the possibility of me taking the role, the takeaway he gave me was, whatever you do, just be strategic with it. Don't obsess over it, but cause I'm pretty guilty of saying, yeah, sure, I'll do it. And then I'll figure out how later. And then, that's what I was saying. Everything's good, but it's busy, and a lot of the business is like self-imposed. So it's kind of that other part of my brain kicking in, going, if you're gonna do this, why? What is strategically, what is our goal? What is our objective? And then if we can find, and if there's alignment, it's gonna make more sense. So, that would be my takeaway. And, because I normally don't think that, you know me well enough, I don't think that way. So, it kind of helps keep me in check. So, I think we're coming up on the hour. Oh, we're a little bit over, but just real quick, do you have any questions for anybody, the folks here?
One question I would ask, what about cybersecurity concerns you, and what are you excited about?
Everything.
Yeah.
Concerns me about it, I think it's getting harder and harder. That's what we were talking earlier, into the people problem. It's really about people, it's not about the technology. And so the awareness, that's about learning that effect. So really like what you said about the older people, we all deal with that with our parents and
Yeah,
grandparents and things like that. With quantum computing, artificial intelligence, that is stacked against us. So it's a challenge. You like a challenge, it's a great field, but you gotta find that happy space in your life where you can maintain your sanity and your
yeah,
and not let the stress get to you.
exactly. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. What is exciting? I think it's just that vision, like, where I see cybersecurity would go to a further, like the vision like that I've seen, like with cybersecurity, I think this is gonna bring people together to bring the awareness of cybersecurity and the balance of the creation of the new technology and how we're going fast, how we're actually like, because we're going fast, like with the AI now and all the new technology that's actually going very fast. With the cybersecurity, I believe this is going to take us to more bringing people together where we're going to share our thoughts and also, share our thoughts and bring the awareness forward and to bring the balance for the new creations that we're going fast with that.
Yeah.
Well, I had a manager was always telling me, you are as strong as your weakest point. And I think that human is the weakest point in this part, we are. So as much as we train ourselves, we don't see stronger things to have it. That's my
No, that's excellent.
excited point there, like, and I feel like we have an unknown strongest of the attackers, and we have to like be the strongest then.
No, excellent, thank you. Welcome.
Yeah, I think over the years, we've heard a lot about security by design, but I still don't see very much of it.
Sure,
It'd be nice to remember and take a, think about kind of how do we actually do that?
Ryan,
How do we do that?
Dave?
AI on both sides. We cited to see what AI can do, what it can mean, how it can kind of raise the level of thought. I'm also concerned about what human do. Makes stuff about phishing. You know,
Sure.
identifying what is the truth that is.
Yeah, it's what I want to share is very similar to that. But Charles,
Okay,
you're part of the family now.
okay, so I think, always think of the power of the when it tries to come up, weakness, as human. So I think it's focused, we already have enough there. So the target of the people on the left side, the attack always work, especially the, long step of learning. So, I think, we should also, focus just like the fact to what other people commented, should also focus on the teaching this is learning, especially the non-tech learning, because they are always the weakest point of the, our institution, the non-tech. So, that is, one question for us to fire up with this.
So we're all basically saying it's the human, you know, and for having the opportunity to answer that, the thing that's most exciting to me is that society needs us. The most scary thing is that I don't think society's prepared for what you want. And for wherever we're at today, if we look at that trajectory and where it's going, you know, that's the belly of where you're gonna land. But, yeah, society needs us. It just doesn't always realize that. Yeah, cool. Well, that's what we got. Unless anybody else has any thoughts, comments, or questions, I'd love to give you both a round of applause. You know, thank you very much for both being here, sharing your stories, and giving everybody the opportunity to get to know you better.
Thank you
Cool.
for having me.
Yeah, thank you. Cool. Right on. Unless anybody else has anything. And there's a lot of lunch back there. So, yeah, please do. Please do. No, so thank you, everybody, for coming in. And Dave, just because you got here a little bit after, just next month is gonna just be online. Our presenter is in Canada, so we're just gonna do it on Zoom and then pick back up from here. And yeah, thank you. Yeah, the month that comes after May.
There will be the
No, May, I'm sorry, May will be just online, just on Zoom, and then June, we'll be back here. Right on.